Hi, my name is Ashton Youngblood. First off, I'm going to show you my audience.
Hi!
And here's my note card. So I'm doing my speech over why financial education should be a requirement at a young age. So the first thing I want to start off with is, what was your biggest challenge as a young adult? For most of us, it had to deal with a bad financial situation. So a lot of us, we don't have the support of our parents or our community, so we end up making poor decisions. So I fall into that category. I fell short of a few things. Of course, the first thing I wanted to do getting out of high school and everything is, open a new credit card and get a car payment, which leads to debt. And with that debt, you've also got all your other bills. And that's what I did. I fell behind on car payments and ended up making poor financial decisions, which affected me in the long run as well, because I didn't know anything about credit, which, like many other people that were my age and coming out of high school, are in the same situation. So financial education right now is only a requirement in 21 states. And the benefits of these have statistically proven that starting out at a young age, from middle school or even high school, it benefits these kids in the long run whenever they're starting out in college and whenever they're getting their first job and everything, and getting out on their own instead of living with their parents. The biggest problem is that as a community and our peers and everything, they influence us. So we see all of our friends and we have family and everything that they're getting the new car or what's in style now. So when you get the new car, well, a lot of people think, oh, that's great. But then you're also adding like 7 years of debt to your financial situation. And for a lot of people, we can't see 7 years down the road of where we're going to be yet. And even when we get our first job coming out of high school, it's not always a real job. It's, at a fast food or something like that. And they really don't talk to you about like what your W-2s are. Or you just fill out what you need to just to get the job. And then they don't talk to you about retirements or anything. You normally don't see that until you get later on in your 20s. And most time by then, you've already tried to get a credit card and car payment, and you've already fallen behind on things. So financial education, I feel like, should be very beneficial for a requirement at a younger age. And I think that our younger generation, they need the tools and the skills, because they're going to be the ones that are leading our nation. And that's really important, because a lot of people, like, even if you're not going into politics, you still need the tools and skills for financially, because no matter what you do, you're going to get a car eventually. You're going to get a house. I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to have a financial situation. And what's more important is how you manage your finances. And I think that as a community, we need to come together and focus on teaching our kids and even the young adults, from 12, 13, even 18 years old. And I think it's very important, because even with our younger kids, and around kindergarten and everything, they start teaching about what money is. And all throughout school, you get taught about what money is, but you never get taught about how to manage it. And they start talking to you about college at a very young age and telling you your grades matter. And then once you get in early high school, then you start filling out for these scholarships and these grants and everything, and really worrying about college. But you don't worry about your finances and your job and what you're going to do while you're in school. Because, like me, I didn't start school until later on, and I didn't have my parents to help me with college, and I still don't. I have to work while I'm in school, and I have to work a full-time job. I've got to support my kids and help with my family, and I've still got bills. They don't go away just because I'm in school. And that's a lot of people's situation. So I really wish that I would have had the financial education and the means and tools to have the seed planted at least, and to kind of figure things out a little more instead of figuring them out later on in life, and not where it's too late, but where I already have problems now, because it is hard raising your credit. I have finally raised it, but it's hard to get to that point, because even whenever you move and you get your utility bills, when you sign up for them, they check your credit score, and it can determine whether you have to pay a deposit or not. And sometimes those deposits can get very expensive, and it's hard to keep up with things sometimes. So learning about credit scores and everything, it would be beneficial at a younger age. And I would really like to have that benefit for my children as well. And I think that as a community, families and even parents, they need to come together and talk to their kids about money. And as a community, maybe we could find something to where we could start a training program or something like that for kids to learn about this, and even find incentives and incorporate this in their classes at school, or even have a whole class by itself to teach them, and with the incentives just help them figure things out. So it can be hard for people, and like I said, a lot of people don't have the benefit of learning about these things until later on in life, after they've already made their poor decisions and are already in debt. So I think that's all I needed to say, and I feel like if we could come together as a community and get more states to where it's a requirement in even middle school or high school, I think it would be good to incorporate this into our classes. So thank you for listening, and have a great night.